gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Our thanks to the Intercity Fire Protection District Color Guard and tonight's national anthem singer, Ms. Kaylee DeYoung. Ladies and gentlemen, at midfield for tonight's first kick ceremony, we welcome the Mayor of Independence.
With their 6-2 victory over the Milwaukee Wave in the minigame, the Missouri Comets advance to the MISL Championship Series for the second straight season. Hi, everybody, and welcome into the MISL Championship Series. Tonight, the third-seeded Missouri Comets host the top-seeded and defending champion Baltimore Blast. This is Nick Vassos. Greetings from Independence, Missouri, in the heart of America, where Old Man Winter and his polar vortex are retreating back north. 64 degrees today in the Kansas City area, and there's a lot of excitement about the changing seasons, and there's a lot of excitement about tonight's matchup. This is a rematch of last year's championship series. The Baltimore Blast won that series a year ago, 2-0 for their 6th professional indoor championship. The Comets are looking for their first title since the 96-97 season, when the league operated as the National Professional Soccer League. The Comets face second seed Milwaukee in the semifinals. They won that series 2-1. Leo Gibson, Brian Harris, Danny Waltman, the stars of the semifinals series. It was described in a recent article in the Independence Examiner that Waltman was Houdini, Carl Wallenda, and Batman all rolled up into one. The Comets are going to need that performance against the tough Baltimore Blast team, because they're looking at this stat. In the last 4 years, the Comets are 3-13 against the Baltimore Blast, including Game 1 loss last year in the 2012-2013 season. As for the Baltimore Blast, they are defending champions. They won the regular season title with a 17-3 record, and they swept the regular season series of the Comets 2-0. Let's give you the starting lineups tonight. First, for the visiting Baltimore Blast, who are coached by Danny Kelly. The big news here tonight is that in goal, Troy Hernandez will start in goal for the Baltimore Blast. Hernandez is a perfect 5-0 on the season, and you won't believe his points against average. 3.60. We're trying to find out why William Van Zella did not get the start. Also starting on the line is Mike Lookingland, the fine defender for the Baltimore Blast. JT Noon at the other defender position. Max Ferdinand, Tony Donatelli, and the forward Adato Neto round out the starters for the Baltimore Blast. For the hometown Missouri Comets, it's Danny Waltman in goal. Nobody with more wins in the league than Danny Waltman, 14-6, and a regular season points against average of 10.29. The two defenders are Brian Harris. Also, Vahid Asadpour is out there. Looks like he's playing towards the back line. Brian Perez, Leo Gibson, the league's leading scorer, and Lucas Rodriguez. We are underway, the MISL Championship Series. Game 1 live at the Independence Event Center. The Baltimore Blast come in wearing their white jerseys, trimmed in red and orange. Comets in their home blues, trimmed in red and white with red socks. Out on the far side, the Blast has it, moving right to left. Brian Harris steps in, breaks up the pass. He gets it. Here's Harris down the left side. Harris crosses it looking for Gibson. Looking land is there. Gibson gets it back. Now out front. Leaves it for Perez. And Baltimore's vaunted defense shuts the door on the Comets. That is one of the matchups we'll be watching this evening. Can the Comets' high-powered offense crack Baltimore's tough defense? On average, the Blast allowed just 5.5 points a game during the season. And at no point in any game did they allow more than 12. Milwaukee scored 12 against the Blast. In fact, the Wave won both of their matchups against Baltimore this season. They won 8-0 against the Blast in the Blast's home opener, and then the Wave won the next night 12-10 at home. Here's Sosa on over to Ramon Palmer. The first changes of the game. First quarter action here, just inside 2 minutes of play here. Sosa a little bit behind Palmer, but Danny comes up and gets it on back to Palmer. Shoots it down the right side for Leo. Here's Gibson, turns, rolls it into the box, and it's kicked away by the Blast defense. Comets hold it in here. John Sosa's got it. Sosa holding it, sends it over to Stokic. Now back to John Sosa. Again, Troy Hernandez starting in goal tonight for the Blast. Danny Kelly and David Bascombe on the bench there behind the Blast. They've been coaching together for 8 straight seasons now. Here's Gibson down to Stokic, off the boards. Flashing in is Ivanovic, and Hernandez pounces on it for the Blast. 12.5 to play in the first. Game 1 of the MISL Championship Series. Game 2 is set for 4 o'clock, 4:05 Central Time, and that'll be live at First Mariner Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. Patrick Healy had the ball for a moment there. Head on back to Diesel. Now Healy's got it again. Rookie of the Year back in 2009. Over to Diesel. Diesel in front of the Comets bench. On back to Healy. Now forward it goes. Getting into Roque. Roque back down to the corner. Wall pass through the area. And John Sosa is there. Coming in is Diego Zuniga. And we've got a whistle and it looks like a foul called on the Blast. Comets have won 6 straight dating back to the regular season finale. Danny Waltman has been a real big part of that. Danny's just been phenomenal in goal. He has been acrobatic. He's made all kinds of saves. He's been inspirational to his teammates. And also Brian Harris. Brian Harris had a terrific series against the Milwaukee Wave. He scored 3 goals, had a couple of assists, 8 points in all. And, of course, we can't leave out Leo Gibson. How about Leo, the league's leading scorer? He had 14 points against Milwaukee on 6 goals and an assist. Leo Gibson was just spectacular in Game 1 here at Independence Event Center. Out of bounds off the Comets. And the Blast are going to get a restart here on the far touchline. Looks like they got Healy behind the ball. Max Ferdinand backs him up. Healed back to Max. Ferdinand darts inside one. Comet defender falls down. Ivanovic of the Comets is there. Bangs it off the boards. Held in by the Blast. And we've got Lucas Rodriguez shaken up on the play. And he's calling for the Comets trainer Fran Heisinger to come out for assistance. Maybe the guys can get a replay of that. I didn't see that. I don't know if there was any twisting or turning motion or if it was more of a contusion of some sort. Here we go. We're going to get a look at it here. Now, Lucas Rodriguez wears number 32. Trying to get a replay here. Here we go. There's Rodriguez facing the defender. And, Max Ferdinand landed on Lucas's right knee, and it got hyperextended just a little bit. That is not good news. Rodriguez, 15 goals, 15 assists, and 47 points on the regular season. He's also chipped in with 2 assists during this playoff run here. Rodriguez appeared in all 20 games during the regular season as he limps off the field right now. Hopefully Fran Heisinger can give him some treatment and we can get Lucas back up on the field. He's a key part to the Comets' success this year. Big left foot. And you got to wonder how that might affect his shot if he does return to play. 11:26 left to play in the first. Scoreless. The fine defender for the Blast, Mike Lookingland. 17 goals, 18 assists, 56 points on the year to go along with 33 blocks. 9th season in the league. Last year's Defender of the Year. And as we also will tell you that the MISL handed out its postseason awards, such as MVP, Defender of the Year, Goalkeeper of the Year, Coach of the Year. We'll give those to you as we continue tonight throughout the broadcast. A lot of players who you'll be watching here tonight have been awarded some league honors, big honors. Here's San Luis splitting the defense. Down the middle it goes to Ramon. He couldn't get those quick feet on it, and Hernandez has got it and is up and throwing down the near side. Here's a shot off the boards and a goal by Baltimore. Donatelli off the boards, and then it was kicked in there by the Blast. Number 21, JT Noon with the goal, and the Blast strike first. It's 2-0. There's Donatelli just off the glass, essentially a wall pass, and what a good volley there by JT Noon to get it past Waltman, and the Blast lead 2-0.
With the assist to number 11, Tony Donatelli. Number 21, Noon. Number 11, Donatelli, 2 points at 4:01.
Time of the goal, 4:01. Blast 2, Comets nothing. One of the other keys for the Comets, and that is that they really need to get it off to a good start against Baltimore. As we mentioned earlier, the Comets 3-10 against the Blast. And here they come again. Here's a shot. Waltman makes the save. Funneled into the middle and finally kicked away by the Comets. San Luis picks it up, trying to counter the other way, and Lookingland stride for stride with him. Eventually, Hernandez boots it out towards the half line. Sosa with a touch on it and boots it out of bounds. The Comets were swept by the Blast this season, being outscored 32-10. The Comets' last win against Baltimore came here last year on January 26th. Here's a drive. Waltman makes the save. Rebound. Score, Baltimore. Max Ferdinand. And the Blast off to a quick start. It's 4-0. Danny Waltman couldn't do much with that. There's a timeout on the field, and we'll take a break as well. 10-10 left to play in the first. You're watching the Major Indoor Soccer League Championship. Action back live at Independence Event Center after the Comets called timeout, trailing 4-0. Comets with the ball into the corner. It goes to Max Touloud. Gibson in there, and there's Lucas Rodriguez back into the game. There's Harris for 3, just a little bit high. Rodriguez tracks down the rebound. Comets will have it. Here's some high pressure from the Blast. Over to Lucas. If the Comets can break the pressure, they got something going. Now Asadpour leaves it for Harris. Not the kind of start the Comets were looking for. Here's Harris into the middle. to Vahid. Vahid weaves his way into open space. Vahid down to the corner to Leo. Crossing in the middle. Leo's there, and it's kicked aside by the Blast defense. Boy, they get back and pack it in to help out their keeper, Hernandez. Driven in there by Gibson and saved by Hernandez. Coming up on 9 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Game 1. The second game will be in Baltimore on Sunday afternoon. If the series is tied at 1, a 15-minute mini game will be played immediately after Game 2 in Baltimore to decide the championship. Here's Donatelli, front and center to Adato Neto. Here's Neto, marked by Sosa, the Comets. Neto away from the goal. On back to JT Noon, right side looking land for 3, blocked by Ivanovic. Here's Gibson, picks up the rebound. Forward to Ramon Palmer. Let's see what Ramon can do, trying to get by Noon. For Palmer and Noon still battling in the corner, and a foul is called on Ramon. That's his first. Mike Lookingland. He'll chip it forward to the half line. Donatelli back to Noon. Now over to Donatelli. Here's Donatelli's second season to Dos Santos. Blast will hang on to it. Dos Santos on back to Lookingland, who is the team captain. Now Dos Santos. And eventually back to Lookingland. Here's Ferdinand on the far side. Correction, that's Levi Wapo, excuse me. To Lookingland. Now he boots it long. Into the corner it goes. Picked up there by Dos Santos. Comets got a mark on him. Ivanovic now off the boards. Danny reads it perfectly. Falls down and then boots it up to Gibson. Nifty play there. Now Leo's by a couple of the defenders. Pushed out wide. Shot, save, rebound. Did it go in? No goal. Called off. Comets almost got it in. Now we've got a whistle. Ryan Sigich and Ron Corey are the referees tonight. Ron Corey's the senior official. Ryan Sigich is coming over to talk to his crew. There's a replay. Look at the replay. Oh, man, if that touched the line, if it touches the line, it's... Looked like it touched the line, but it's got to be over the line. Boy, that was close. Here's another look at it again from Troy Hernandez's perspective. Right there on the doorstep. Oh, Hernandez reached back at the last second and saved it. Wow. And looks like we're going to have a penalty called on Baltimore here. I thought that's what they might be discussing. 2 minute men on the field called against the Baltimore Blast, and that'll put the Comets on the power play with 7:17 left to play in the first. So the power play team for the Comets out there is going to be Asadpour, Sosa, Rodriguez, Gibson, and Palmer. And the man down team for Baltimore is going to be JT Noon, Mike Lookingland, Dos Santos, and Healy. Too many men on the field is the official call. Too many men, 2 minutes, and the Comets are going to go on the power play here. So, Comets on the power play this season. Well, in the playoffs, they are 0 for 2.
Here we go. Let's make some noise.
Here's the Comets on the power play, trailing by 4. Here's Asadpour. During the season, the Comets were 35% on power plays. Baltimore, they killed 76%. of their opponent's power plays. Here's Sosa to Asadpour! Shazam! Comets strike with a three-pointer. It's 4-3. That didn't take long. Take a look at this. Sosa is going to pick up another assist as Asadpour strikes a good one and hits it past Hernandez. What a goal by Asadpour. That's Vahid's third goal this postseason. That gives him 23 on the year, and that brings the Comets to within one. 8:06 the time of the goal. Asadpour the goal and Sosa the assist. And for John Sosa, that is his first assist of postseason. He now has make that 3 points on the year. Well, the MISL held a news conference yesterday to announce season-ending awards. And we will start with Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year went to O'Dane Sinclair of the St. Louis Ambush. The Jamaican from Baker University had a strong first season for the expansion Ambush. He led all rookies with 37 points. And it was Sinclair's work rate which really saw him constantly harassing opponents and defenders, and really was a factor for the opposing team. Sinclair's most memorable performance of the season came when he had a hat trick and a game-winning goal as the Ambush defeated the Syracuse Silver Knights 14-12 on December 29th. Both teams back to even strength. Here we go. Into the middle right side, off the boards. Comets, great job defending there. Harris deflects it wide. Now to St. Louis. 2v3, St. Louis with a drive, and that one blocked by Healy of the Blast. Karams into the corner. Back to Harris with a drive, and that one blocked again by the Blast defense. Boy, they collapse in front of Hernandez like no other team I've seen this year. Harris will trigger the restart. Brian Harris led the league in three-point goals with 5. Brian Harris, a lot of consideration for Defender of the Year, and we'll tell you who won that award here in just a minute. You've got two of the best defenders in the league right here, and Brian Harris of the Comets and Mike Lookingland of the Blast. Hernandez got a strong arm, and he throws it right down Main Street. That one headed by Sosa. Flicked up to the half line. Who's going to win the ball here? Looks like Baltimore is going to win it. On back to Healy. Healy all the way, now away from the ball as Sosa hit the deck. Goes out of bounds off Sosa. Sosa and Luis Roque got tangled up away from the play, and now some players having to be separated by Ryan Sigich. Sigich is talking to Mike Diesel of the Blast right now. Diesel in his third season. Also having a conversation with Donatelli, telling everybody to chill. If they don't chill, the cards are going to come flying. They got 5:39 left to play. Sosa and Roque got tangled up away from the ball, and then I guess Diesel got involved somehow. I didn't see that altercation, but had a few players had to be separated. Here's Lookingland behind the ball for the Blast. He'll fire one long just over the plexiglass and out of bounds. And Danny Woolman will have the goalkeeper distribution with 5:38 left to play in the first. 4-3 is our score. Blast with a 1-point lead. Vahid Asadpour, a 3-point power play goal for the Comets. Sosa the assist. JT Noon, Max Ferdinand got the game's first 2 goals to give the Blast an early 4-0 lead before Vahid's goal. Here's a double team, and the Blast win it. Palmer loses it, and against the boards, Ramon Palmer called for the foul. Got to be careful there. Correction, Robert Palmer. That was close there. Ron Corey just called the foul. But anytime a player is close to the boards and you make contact, that's when we see the blue cards frequently. Restart coming up. Looking Land behind the ball. Looking Land flicks it back to Ferdinand. Here's Max. Marked closely by Vahid. Into the middle it goes, and Danny Waltman is there. Now a foul. It's called on Vahid. Roque, it looked like Roque took a dive, and that's what Vahid is arguing there with Ryan Sigich. Wow, we can get a replay on that. Vahid and Roque were chest to chest, and Roque just dove down, and Sigich thought Vahid pushed him as the Comets were looking to counter. Dangerous restart here. Here's Looking Land with it at the top of the arc. Looking Land will call timeout. We'll take a break as well. 5:05 left to play in the first. Blast 4, Comets 3. This is the MISL Championship. Sosa there, Noon trying to reach around and hammer it in there. Ron Corey ducks. And then Harris boots it up to San Luis. Looking Land back to Neto. Neto draws a crowd. Looking Land still trying to power through, and a foul is called on the Comets. And we've got a player down. And it looks like we've got an injured Blast player on the field. As we look at Stefan San Luis and Ramon Palmer. There's Donatelli into the screen here. The Blast trainers are working on a player. Can't see him here. He's hidden by the dasher boards. He's in one of the corners of the field. The left wing corner in the Comets' last third, so the lower left-hand portion of your picture is where the injured player would be. And we just heard from public address announcer Ed Bishop. Looks like Max Ferdinand is down for the Blast. And Max Ferdinand, a fifth-year player, he had 43 points this season during the regular season and has 4 points on 1 goal and 2 assists. Also has 4 blocks. He's been a big contributing player to the Blast during the regular season and during the playoffs. Now Ferdinand is back up, and he's walking off a little gingerly there in those orange boots, but at least he's walking to the bench. So the restart coming up to the Blast just outside the three-point arc, so about 48 feet away. Palmer and Perez are the 2 men on the wall. There you see Ron Corey between the 2 players. Whistle blows, and here comes Healy. Cross field to Donatelli, rolls it in. Block made by Harris of the Comets. Ball comes out to Gibson, who tried to clear it away. Back into the Comets' last third. Gibson is there to knock it away from Neto. Adato Neto. Whoa, some nifty moves there, and he chips it in right into Danny Waltman. Comets lose it again. They've been playing a lot of defense here as the horn sounds, ends the first quarter. After the first quarter, it's the Baltimore Blast 4, the Missouri Comets 3. Second quarter action is straight ahead, and you're watching the Major Indoor Soccer Baltimore with 2 goals to start in the first quarter. One by JT Noon, one by Max Ferdinand to take a 4-0 lead in the first 5 minutes of the game. And then the Comets answering with a 3-point power play goal by Vahid Asadpour. The assist going to John Sosa to make it 4-3, and that is where we stand right now. Second quarter now underway. The MISL Championship Series. Glad to have you along wherever you might be watching from. Here in the Kansas City area, maybe in Baltimore, maybe in Cleveland, maybe in Jamaica. We welcome you all across the World Wide Web. Here's Brian Harris. Harris with a left footer. That one partially blocked. Max Toulouse with a drive off the boards. Chested by Healy into Hernandez. Troy throws it long to Dos Santos. Dos Santos heads it back to Diesel. Looks like Ferdinand is back into the game too. Danny will kick the ball long across the half line. Headed back towards the Comets side of the field. Boy, the Blast get it back in a hurry. Here's Ferdinand, rolls one in. Danny bends at the waist. And then quick outlet to Harris. Brian lets it roll in front of him. Head up, looking forward. Brian moves to his right. Harris leaves it for Palmer. Ramon now with a pass to Max Toulouse. Max Toulouse was a late season pickup from the Pennsylvania Roar. And what, I tell you, talk about Haitian sensation. Max Toulouse has broken into the MISL in a big way. For Max Toulouse, in just a total of 16 games, he scored 14 goals, had 3 assists, and 32 points. That's amazing. Now we've got a foul called on Dos Santos. He and Sosa got tangled up, and so now, don't do that. Sosa pushes Dos Santos down, and Sosa is going to be sent off. John Sosa has lost his cool and has hurt his team in the process. John Sosa is going to be sent off. Don't know what the official call is here, but Ron Corey will escort him to the penalty box, or maybe not. We're going to get a replay of it here. We'll see what happened and why John got so mad. We're going to have to look at it again. Here's another look at it. Maybe they're going to send both of them off. We'll get a look at it here. Maybe we can look at it one more time, guys. Here it is, right in the center circle. Now follow Sosa. Oh, Sosa did get hit. There was some contact there, but from that angle it was hard to see, but we clearly could see the retaliation of Sosa. So we've got 2 minutes on the board for Sosa. Are they going to send somebody off for Baltimore? Doesn't appear that way, as Ryan Sigich is talking to both team captains there on the right side of your picture. Vahid Asadpour for the Comets and Mike Lookingland for the Blast. There's a shot of both of them right there. And it would appear right now. And yeah, they're going to send Dos Santos off as well. Matching 2-minute penalties here. And Dos Santos arguing his case, but Ryan Sigurd says get in the box. Matching 2 minute, maybe 5 minute.
Here we go. At 1:41 of the second quarter, we have offsetting yellow cards.
Okay.
Sportsmanlike conduct. 5 minutes, yellow each. There will be no man advantage to either side. We will remain at 5 players aside. Both John Sosa of the Comets and number 12, Adriano Dos Santos of Baltimore, each a 5-minute yellow for misconduct. They can be released at the first guaranteed substitution following the 8:19 mark remaining in the second quarter. 5 aside, we're even straight. There we go.
Thank you, public address announcer Ed Bishop with the official call. He's right down there in the or referee's crease, so he gets the first word on what the call is. And it's matching 5-minute misconduct penalties on both John Sosa of the Comets and Adriano Dos Santos for the Baltimore Blast. So no power play for either team. 5 aside will continue on. Those two players won't be able to return until the first guaranteed substitution after 5 minutes. Here's Palmer trying to hit it on the volley, and he fanned on it. Robert gets it back, plays it front and center to Vahid. One touch. Vahid will slow down, look to his right, play it over to Gibson. Gibson on the right side, rolls it in there, and Hernandez down on his knees makes the save. Again, Troy Hernandez during the regular season, 5-0, and his points against average is ridiculous, 3.60. That's nuts. Out front, over to the right side to Zuniga. Diego Zuniga, all that hair flying around, plays it back to JT Noon. 12-18 left to play. Here's Asadpour picking up a loose ball, trucking with it across the half line. Gets by one defender, gets by another, and a foul called on Vahid. Looks like he reached around and took Diesel down to the ground, and a foul called on Asadpour. And boy, the players are not happy with both Ryan Sigic and Ron Corey tonight. I'll tell you, if the boys on both sides here keep chirping at the refs, we're going to see some cards. I know the refs would like the guys to play. We got two of the best referees here this evening. Already seen a couple of instances in which players have had to be separated, so motions are running high, and you would expect that here in a championship series. Here's Stokic, and we have a very close game. 4-3 is our score. Blast on top of the Comets. Here's Stokic. Forward to Gibson, and a whistle and a foul called against Baltimore. Stokic comes up hobbling just a little bit. Stokic will go off the field. And who will come in for Stefan? Comets already have, the Comets do have, it looks like Asadpour will come in. All right, here's Harris. Touched over to Rodriguez. Lucas right side, Vahid. Asadpour to the right wing corner to Gibson. The league's leading scorer and assist leader plays it away from the goal to Harris. Now to Leo. Leo Gibson up for MVP this year. You got to think he and Canardo Forbes and Mike Lookingland are all in the mix for that award. Now Zuniga breaks out. Asadpour races in front. Nice defensive play by Vahid. And then Lucas heads it over to Vahid by one player. And then Vahid is knocked to the ground, and a foul called on Zuniga of the Blast. And Diego Zuniga doesn't understand where they're called, so nobody is happy. 11:04 left to play in the first half. It is a tight one here at Independence Event Center. Rodriguez forward to Leo. Here's Gibson. Gibson trying to draw another defender. Will move to his right. That one blocked by Lookingland. Now Gibson another drive. And on the rebound, Rodriguez couldn't put enough pace on that one. Hernandez makes a pretty easy save. He's up and throwing on the other side of the field, and it's kicked out of bounds by Andre Braithwaite of the Comets, making it his first appearance in the MISL Championship Series. Mike Diesel's got it for the Blast. Now front and center to Healy. Now to Donatelli. Now Healy, 10.5 to play in the first half. Blast lead by 1 point. Diesel all the way back to Hernandez. Now near side to Diesel. Blast break the Comets' pressure down to the corner. Here's a drive and a save made by Waltman. Well, that one went up the foot of Roque. Comets come out with it, and Harris is tripped up by Roque, and a foul called on the Blast. That's Roque's first on the year. Lucas Roque, here's another look at it here. Brian Harris, oh, it's Roque, put his elbow out there and got it right into the breadbasket of Harris. That probably hurt. But Brian Harris, tough as a $2 steak. He ain't coming off. Danny Waldman boots it into the corner for St. Louis. Almost through his legs. St. Louis stiff arms the defender away. Gets it to Ramon Palmer. Still trying to go forward. Back to St. Louis. Now to Asadpour. Booms it from 3 and just wide. Asadpour racing back. Nice job there by Vahid. Yeah, Vahid playing in the back to stabilize that back line. They need to be really strong in the back against Baltimore. Now Healy forward to Ferdinand in the box. And both teams playing on. The Baltimore bench is livid that there was not a call there. Both Bascom and Danny Kelly's suit jackets were flying all over the place behind the Blast bench. Toulouse back there with Waltman. Danny up to Ramon. Now over to Max. The Comets will bring it up deliberately. Now into the corner it goes, looking for Robert Palmer. Hernandez skies in the air. Underhands it. Forward it goes to Mangione. That one picked up there by Wapu. Kick save by Danny. Now looking land with a drive. That one blocked by Toulouse. Neto with a touch. Over to Wapu. Wapu over there, double teamed. Comes off to Neto. Look out for Neto. He's dangerous. Oh boy, good defensive play by Harris. Harris picks Neto. Still going forward. Shoots and a save made by Hernandez. Changes for the Comets. Actually, both teams go for lots of changes here. Hernandez has got it. Boots it forward. Zuniga pops it up into the air and it lands right by Lucas Rodriguez of the Comets. 8 minutes to play in the first half. 4-3, Blast on top. Game 1 of the MISL Championship Series. Game 2 set for Baltimore. Sunday afternoon, 4:05 Central Time. We'll have the game for you right here on CometsIndoorSoccer.com, live from Baltimore. Here is Leo Gibson. Leo trying to get it over to Ivanovic, but Zuniga steps in front. Then looking land, advances it to the half line. Both teams trade touches in the center circle. Ferdinand is there and settles it. Right on the Comets logo, back to looking land. The Blast will slow things down and set up their offense. We saw this in game 2 of the championship series in Milwaukee. Did you see that in Milwaukee when Coach Keith Tozer employed what looked to be the four corners offense for 2 to 3 minutes? That was something I had never seen before. And Baltimore, while not that extreme, is a little bit deliberate on this latest offensive attack. A chip goes over the plexiglass and out of bounds. And we've got a timeout on the field. We'll keep it right here, and we'll continue with the league honors. The MISL had a news conference yesterday and announced the league honors. In the first quarter, we told you that Rookie of the Year went to O'Dane Sinclair of the St. Louis Ambush. Sinclair finished with 37 points on the season. So let's tell you who won Defender of the Year. And first, really, in my opinion, it was between two players. The Comets' Brian Harris, who on the season had 40 points on 14 goals and 7 assists with 18 blocks. He was also the leader in 3-point goals with 5. The other player was Mike Lookingland. He was last year's Defender of the Year, and this year he is Defender of the Year again. Mike Lookingland, the MISL Defender of the Year with 17 goals, 18 assists, 56 points on the year, and 36 blocks for the 9-year veteran who's had quite the season. Played in all 20 games for the Blast. He has 5 restart goals, which ties him with Vahid Asadpour for the most. 2 game-winning goals and a power play goal. So Mike Lookingland, the Defender of the Year. It had to have been close. I'm really surprised. Well, not terribly surprised, but a bit disappointed because, I mean, I'm the voice of the Comets. I'm also a fan of the Comets. I thought that Brian Harris had a terrific season, and he did. and I thought he deserved some recognition as a Defender of the Year. But that's just the home guy talking. We congratulate Mike Lookingland of the Baltimore Blast. He, too, had a terrific season for the Baltimore side. Congratulations, Mike Lookingland, your Defender of the Year in the MISL. 6:48 left to play in the first half. Baltimore 4, Missouri 3. Right now, Baltimore is out shooting the Comets 9-6. And if you'd like to sound off on tonight's game, you let us know on Twitter. We'll read some on the air for you. Use the hashtag #BeatTheBlast. Use the hashtag #BeatTheBlast, and we'll read some live on the air tonight. Here's JT Noon. He has one of the 2 goals for the Blast. His pass was broken up by the Comets. Out of the corner it goes to Perez. Banged it off the boards looking for St. Louis. But again, there's 4 white jerseys back there in the area in front of Hernandez. Good job there by the Blast defense, and now they try to counter. Here's Donatelli trying to turn. He shoots, and that one blocked by Sosa, who is now out of the box and back into the game. JT Noon settles it on the carpet for the Blast. Leaves it for Healy. Patrick Healy chips one into the corner for Neto. Neto back to Healy. Shot. That one actually by Diesel just off the target. That a whistle and a foul is called on Max Ferdinand. He and St. Louis got tangled up. And that'll be Max's first foul of the game. Make that the half. See if John Sosa here. John Sosa, he's a, I haven't seen John Sosa get, have a reaction like that to another player this season. Now Harris for 3. That one blocked by Diesel. But no doubt his coach, Vlatko Andonovski, told John to keep his emotions in check. Poise is always a factor in these championship games. Now Neto. Here's Neto down the left side. Ramon Palmer steps in front. Good play there by the Comet forward. The rest of the team tracks back. Here's Ferdinand. Ferdinand will put on the brakes and play it back to the center circle. Blast will go for some changes here. Here's Hernandez. He'll boot it long. That one headed back towards Waltman, who's off. He gets knocked down and a foul called on the Blast.
Foul, number 19, Marco Mangione.
That one against Marco Mangione. He and Waltman both leaped up into the air, and it looked like Danny got the full brunt of that. Here's another look at it here. Here's Danny up into the air. Boom! Both of them collide and land in the corner. And Mangione called for the foul. He didn't agree. Now Gibson. Gibson balls, for a loose there for a moment. Hernandez kicks it away at the last second. Now Palmer with it, front and center to Perez. Comets on offense, trailing by a point. 4.5 to play in the half, and out front to Robert Palmer, who had some space for a moment. Comets maintain possession. Now Sosa fakes one way, fires it in there, blocked by Lookingland. Now over to the far side to Perez, who hits one that had some sinking motion on it, no good. Palmer is there, lifted up into the air and out of bounds, and it will going to go to Baltimore. That was off of Palmer. JT Noon, Max Ferdinand with 2 goals in the first 5 minutes of the game in the first quarter to make it 4-0, and then Vahid Asadpour, a 3-point power play goal to make it 4-3. That's been the scoring so far this evening. Coming up on 4 minutes to play. Here's Noon. Right side, it goes to Ferdinand. Max working on Asadpour. Left side, Diego Zuniga. Now near side, Lookingland, the team captain. Here's Ferdinand again. Now to Lookingland. Back to Hernandez, then up to JT Noon. JT forward to Ferdinand in the corner. Rodriguez is there, and Rodriguez put his backside into Ferdinand, pushed him up against the boards, and Ron Corey calls in for a foul. Foul on the Comets, and that is the second foul of the half. 3.5 to play in the first half. A restart coming up to Baltimore. Got to watch this. Baltimore dangerous on restarts, and watch out for Lookingland. Comets able to flick it away, and here comes Asadpour. Can the Comets get something going here? Vahid, tried to slide it through to Talou and almost did. Harris able to use the boards, get by Zuniga. Trying to get it back into the middle of the field. Now Roque and Talou give chase. Both teams trade possessions, and Sosa decides to bang it back to Danny, and the Comets will reset. Good idea by John Sosa. Now across the line to Ramon Palmer. This guy has some of the best footwork in the game. All right side, Robert Palmer, no relation. Now Sosa, one touch. Over to Robert. Now front and center it comes to Talou. 2:38 left to play. 2:38. Here's Max Talou back to Danny Waltman. Sound off on Twitter. Use the hashtag #BeatTheBlast. Quick shout out to Art Kramer, color analyst and Wave Hall of Famer. Watching tonight's game in Milwaukee. Art's probably got the 6-step rule into effect. Art, great to hear from you. And a great season by your side as well. Terrific series. Waltman way off his line. And Robert Palmer kicks it out of bounds. And the Comets are saying that it went off the Baltimore Blast, but Palmer really saved Danny's bacon. He was way off his line. And those of you in Baltimore that haven't seen many Comet games, that's not unusual for Danny Waltman. Oh boy, that was close there. Do you see Danny's left leg there bend a little bit? No sign of any trouble with Danny. Here he comes again. He and John Sosa will work it out of the last third. They're across the yellow line. Sosa's got it now for the Comets. Play it forward to Gibson. Poked away from behind by the Blast, off to Donatelli. Forward back to the Comet side of the field, and Harris is there for the Comets. Runs it into Danny, and he boots it long. Both teams will give chase. Out of bounds it goes. And that one off of Baltimore. So the Comets with a quick restart here. 1:21 left to play in the first half. Harris goes down. Boy, everybody's very physical game here in the first almost 30 minutes played. Here's Patrick Healy. Healy over to Troy Hernandez. And again, a bit surprising here tonight that we're seeing Troy Hernandez in goal. We've seen William Van Zella for the Blast during really much of the regular season. And St. Louis with a good move there. Powers in. Tries to muscle the ball away. Healy picks up the loose change and advances it to the Comet side. A whistle and a foul called on Dato Neto. There's Brian Harris looking to win his first indoor professional championship. Letting that beard grow. It's getting gnarly, isn't it? 43.4 seconds left. Sosa bangs it off the two-man wall. Here's Waltman. 23 seconds. Clock ticking down here in the first half. 4-3 is our score. Gibson tried to get past one defender. Now Harris for three. That one deflected wide. Out comes with a Baltimore Blast. Ferdinand is there. 6 seconds left. Can the Comets get one more shot off? Here's Gibson for three. Just wide. Horn sounds, and that's going to do it for the first half. What a first half. Wow. A low-scoring affair. Very close contest. Two evenly matched teams. At the half, it is the Baltimore Blast 4 and the Missouri Comets 3. Halftime is here, and you're watching the Major Indoor Soccer League Championship. Oh, wait. There's a big, hold on, keep it right here. There is a big fight down in the goal area, down in the hallway. Players are having to be separated. What in the world is going on down here? We've got a big scrum here at one end of the goal. All of the Comets and Blast players are now down through the goal. Security has been called in. I can't see anything going on. They're now beneath the stands. Everybody is leaning over and trying to see something here. We saw several players going in there. And it looks like as the players were exiting the field, some words were exchanged, and then all of a sudden, 4 or 5 players all went through the goal netting and back underneath the seats. What in the world is going on here? We'll see if we can get to the bottom of it. I'll go down and see what I can find out, and when the third quarter comes around, we will report back live. Thank you all for watching on YouTube this evening, wherever you might be watching from. We are so glad to have you along. An exciting game so far, lots of stuff to talk about. Baltimore 4, the Missouri Comets 3. It's halftime. This is the MISL Championship.
Santos of Baltimore and John Sosa of the Comets have been ejected from the game. Both teams have also been given a 2-minute penalty as a result, which will be served by other personnel, and both teams will start the half 4-on-4 for the first 2 minutes.
All right, here we are back live inside Independence Event Center. And just before, well, just as the second quarter ended and we were going into halftime, John Sosa of the Comets and Adriana Dos Santos of the Baltimore Blast got into it again. They were both penalized for 5-minute misconduct penalties in the first half. And while they were in the box, they sat there chewing on each other for 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes, however long it was. Well, when the first half ended, the two were chewing on each other, and they both went after each other and ended up in the goal and ended up spilling back into the bowels of Independence Event Center. As a result, Ryan Sigich and Ron Corey, the MISL referees, have ejected John Sosa and Adriana Dos Santos. They've been given red cards and have been kicked out of the game. In addition to that, they've been given a 2-minute matching penalties to both the Comets and the Blast. So this will be a 4-on-4 situation to begin the third quarter. I talked to some people down in the hallways at halftime, and they said it was a wild scrum down there behind the net and underneath the stands here. They said it was wild. Most of the teams were there. Coaches were there. In fact, on the way back onto the field, the Baltimore Blast had to be escorted by the Independence Police Department. And even the police department offered warnings to both teams about keeping it cool. We don't want the police involved, you know. So we're underway here in the third. We're playing 4-on-4 soccer, and we are joined by former Columbus Crew member, Omaha Viper, and Missouri Comet. Ryan Jung has made the trip down I-29 to the MISL championship game. It is good to see you, Ryan. Kind of crazy there in the first half, don't you think?
I'd expect nothing less out of both these teams.
You know, these two, when you played, was things a bit edgier? Oh, there was a shot by Lucas and a save by Hernandez. Was it edgy like that whenever you played Baltimore?
I think anytime you're in a championship, no matter who you're playing, it's going to be intense. With Baltimore, all their players, as a former Comet, I've had nothing but respect for them. But sometimes you get caught up in the moment and you lose track of what's going on, and you kind of blow up a little bit. Sosa reacted to an incident that he probably should have just calmed himself down a little bit. There's already a foul called for it, but I mean the retaliation, it's always gonna feed fuel to the fire, and it escalated at the end of the half, as we just saw. So it's unfortunate, but that's just, I mean, I'm glad to see there's intensity still with both teams, as opposed to just something that's another game to them.
I've never seen Sosa react that way on the field. Penalties are over, and there was a drive by Harris, saved by Hernandez. So both penalties are over, and it's now 5-on-5 on the field, out of bounds off of Baltimore, and the Comets are going to have it. Ryan Jung is joining us here at our broadcast position for Game 1 of the MISL Championship Series between the Missouri Comets and Baltimore Blast. Game 2 is set for Sunday afternoon, 4:05, First Mariner Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. You can watch that game right here on CometsIndoorSoccer.com. We are so glad all of you have chose to spend part of your Friday night with us here on YouTube. We appreciate it. Exciting game so far. 4-3 is our score. And the Comets, well, they're the highest scoring team during the regular season. And the Blast, they're the best defense. But really towards the end of the regular season, the Comets really held their opponents under 10. Got a whistle and a foul called on Braithwaite. That was close to being a penalty right there.
Thank God it was on the defensive half for Baltimore as opposed to their offensive half. Otherwise, yeah, definitely a 2-minute penalty. And going off what you said earlier, Nick, about the top offense against the top defense, I don't think you could ask for a better situation as a player for a chance to play for a championship, playing against one of the best teams in the league. I mean, for a Comets player, you're playing against the best defense. Your mindset's got to be, we're going to show that we're the best offense. Vice versa, Baltimore's sitting there probably saying, we're the best defense, this is the best offense, we're going to shut them down. So everybody's pumped, everybody wants to do whatever they got to do to get the W, and that kind of showed in the first half with the scuffle and then at the end of the half, the ejections and stuff.
Here's Palmer, a toe poke and a save made by Hernandez. Boy, Ramon Palmer has some of the quickest feet of any player in the MISL. He is very quick, not only with a shot, but he's really good in traffic.
He was always a tough guy to defend in practice, and just watching him in games, I'm so glad he's playing as much as he is now. Oh! Well done, V!
Asadpour for 3! Vahid, his second three-pointer on the night, and the Comets have their first lead in the game. It's 6-4. Shazam!
Is that top shelf where the grandma keeps the cookies? I think so. I'm going to steal a Vaselism right there on that one.
Look at it again, Rhino. Perez over to Vahid. Oh, he hit it from the yellow line. Wow. What a shot by Asadpour. Oh, that one was tailing away, and Hernandez, here's Troy's view. Look at this, Troy Hernandez looking at it. Whoa, the laser in there to the upper right-hand corner. And the Comets have their first lead, 6-4. Time to keep the pressure on. It's their first lead in the game. Here's Baltimore getting close. Neto over the top of the goal. Goalkeeper distribution coming up to Danny Kelly with exactly 11 minutes to play in the third. And the Comets now leading 6-4. For Vahid, that is his 4th playoff goal and his 24th on the season.
2 goals on the night, both of them clutch 3-pointers. That's what you want out of your captain.
You know, he's got such an all-around game. Vahid does. He's good at setting up players. He's playing in the back tonight. As the Comets are without Cody Andrews, or out without Alex Megson, and I bet Coach Andonovsky wants to solidify that back line for sure to not make any mistakes back there. Oh, there's another one! Another three-pointer! Stephen San Luis! Comets goal! It's 9-4! Wow!
Talk about lighting a fire.
Woo. Look at it again. Danny Waldman's going to get the assist. There's Stephen. Move to his left. Move to his right. Oh, and he hit it perfectly to the lower left-hand corner. And the Comets out to a 9-4 lead. Another look at it here. Man, San Luis, his first full season back from knee injury, and San Luis got his 2nd playoff goal, his 10th on the year. He now has 5 points during the playoffs.
Those goals are tough for a goalie. The ball's on the ground. It's hard hit. It's in traffic. There's guys in front of you you can't see. Unfortunately, it's a late reaction, and the ball's already in the back of the net. There's not much you can do. It's just, as a player, you gotta just man up and just go after it. It's only 9-4, like we were saying earlier. It's indoor. Anything can happen. So Baltimore's got to focus now on what they got to do. But for the most part, the Comets, you couldn't start a half better than they have now. Unbelievable.
Live look at the Comets huddle. There's Danny Waltman, and we've been talking about some of the postseason awards. Rookie of the Year went to O'Dane Sinclair. Defender of the Year went to Mike Lookingland. And Goalkeeper of the Year, I thought Danny Waltman should get some consideration. Maybe Nick Vordberg or Marcel Feenstra from Milwaukee. And, of course, William Vanzella of the Baltimore Blast. Well, it goes to William Vanzella of the Baltimore Blast, who didn't even make the trip with Baltimore. Troy Hernandez is here at the Independence Event Center. Vanzella set the new current MISL record points against average at 5.57 a game. And Vanzella won 12 games, lost 3, and Vanzella named yesterday the MISL Goalkeeper of the Year for the Baltimore Blast. So Rookie of the Year goes to the St. Louis Ambush Sinclair. Defender of the Year goes to Mike Lookingland of the Blast. And now Goalkeeper of the Year goes to William Vanzella of the Baltimore Blast. I think there's a pattern kind of developing here. We'll give you the Coach of the Year and the Most Valuable Player as we progress through the second half. We talked about, I was kind of belly aching in the first half that Brian Harris should have given a little bit more consideration for Defender of the Year. Brian's had an unbelievable season for the Comets.
Oh, it's been, as a defender, I don't see anybody else scoring as many goals as that guy has. And the way he scored them, you would think he's an offensive player every single game. And not to mention, probably a majority of his three-pointers this year have come on a man down, which speaks pretty highly of the guy's style of play. He's full throttle no matter what time of the game it is, no matter what the situation is. So definitely should have got a little bit more of a look at Defender of the Year, I believe. But not taking anything away from Mike Lookingland. He's been
very
solid.
Fine
every
player.
single year he's been in the league.
Yep.
Watching, playing against him, nothing but respect for the guy, and he puts his heart on the line every single game. He knows how to play this game, and he knows what it takes to win.
There was Robert Palmer with a chance. He's kind of shaking himself a little bit that he didn't bring that down a little bit. So the Comets are getting some chances. Comets head coach Vlatko Andonovski. He's got his arms folded across his chest, standing on the bench, looking on as his team leans over the dasher boards. Here's Mike Lookingland. Lookingland out of the left wing corner. Now on back to Diego Zuniga. He had a touch on it for a second. Now Andre Braithwaite still forward. Can he slide it to Lucas? Oh, he couldn't get it up to Lucas. Now there's a pile up here just outside of the right wing. Gibson is there, funnels it in there, and eventually picked up by Hernandez. Braithwaite goes laboring off the field, and Asadpour comes in for him. Under 8 minutes to play in the third. Comets have 2 3-point goals in this quarter and lead at 9-4. Roque. Oh, here's the blast into the middle. Oh, Perez with a good play by the Comets. Boy, I thought the Blast were going to get something there. They really did a good job working around the perimeter. But Perez came up with the crucial steal. 7.5 to play in the third. Here's Danny. Pressed by JT Noon. Forward it goes to San Luis. Blast steps in front. Back the other way. That's Frederick Mougin. Now Noon with a drive. And Danny with a kick save and a beauty. And then Harris gets pinned up against the boards by Diego Zuniga. Harris didn't like that at all. crowd is chanting Danny Waltman.
Hector's got him fired up.
There's a good look at the replay. Thank you guys for the replay. Good kick save there by Danny. Once again doing it with his feet, his hands, whatever body part, it don't matter. Max Toulouse to the left, to the right, fires, blocked by Zuniga. Ball still loose in the right wing corner. DeRue is over there. It's kicked out of bounds off the Comets, and we've got a timeout. Timeout, 6:42 left to play in the third. The Missouri Comets out in front, 9-4 over the Baltimore Blast. You're watching the MISL Championship.
Visit their website at bluespringschiro.com or call 816-229-1941 today. Blue Springs Chiropractic Health Center. We're always glad to see you're back. Hector's Auto Repairs.
Do you do the
Well,
Gangnam
we'll just keep
style
it
anymore?
right here. We don't have any commercials or anything, so I just like to take a break every once in a while.
Do you still do the Gangnam style?
I haven't done the Gangnam style this year yet, and if I did, I wouldn't do it with 6:42 left in the third, and we're only leading by 5 points. It's got to be kind of a.
They could feed off of it, though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we did have a good record when I danced.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty funny sight to see.
When I was dancing, I don't think I ever danced when Baltimore was in town. Maybe only once, because the last time that you were here that we beat Baltimore was last year on January 26th. I forget the score. I think it was like an 18, maybe a 16, 13, 15, kind of 11 game.
Typical Baltimore, Missouri Comets battles always are going to be close.
But one of the few wins that the Comets have gotten over the Blast in the last 4 years.
I still think we should talk to Ed about getting that music playing again so you can go at it.
We got to talk. 6:42. Ryan Jung, Nick Vassos with you live at Independence Event Center. Glenn Alvarado writes in on Twitter. And by the way, let us know what you think about tonight's game by using the hashtag #BeatTheBlast. Glenn Alvarado, I hope you were here when we came back in the third quarter. And just for those of you who are joining us late, John Sosa of the Comets and Adriano Dos Santos of the Blast both issued red cards for an altercation that occurred following the end of the second quarter. Both players were jawing, and then a physical altercation took place, and both of them ended up into the goal, which led to the tunnel underneath the stands at Independence Event Center. Both teams joined in. The coaches were there. It was not a pretty sight. And in the end, Ryan Sigich and Ron Corey decided to give a red card to both those players, and they gave a 2-minute penalty to both teams. So that's what happened at the beginning of the third, and here we are. Since then, Asadpour has a 3, Stefan St. Louis has a 3, 2 Comet 3-point goals, and Missouri leads 9-4. With the ball, it's Leo Gibson, the league's leading scorer. Away from the goal to Robert Palmer. Now center circle, Vahid Asadpour. Vahid Asadpour, the team captain, the Toronto, Canada native. Now forward up to Robert Palmer. Robert Palmer from Kingston, Jamaica, rolls it forward to Leo Gibson. Gibson from Monrovia, Liberia, became a naturalized citizen last year. Now Asadpour coming up on 5 minutes to play in the third. Rolled forward to Leo. Gibson slides between two defenders over to Vahid, then touched over to Robert. Comets working with it in the midfield area. Patient. Now Danny up to Ramon, trying to turn the defender, and we've got a foul called on Lucas Roque. That is Lucas Roque's first foul of the half. Blast have not scored since, well, they scored the 2 goals in the first 5 minutes in the first quarter and have been held scoreless since. Long one from Danny. Down to Leo in the corner. And they called Leo for a handball. So that'll go as a foul against Leo. That's his first. Here's Stephen DeRue. On back to Looking Land, this year's MISL Defender of the Year. And Looking Land will slide it forward. On up to Mangione. Now back to Looking Land. Coming up on 4 minutes to play in the third. Looking Land. Forward to Roque. Harris is there, shielding him away. And Danny's got it. On up to Lucas, back to Vahid. Forward to Perez. Brian along the near dasher boards. Puts on the brakes, plays it back to Vahid Asadpour. Now far side, Robert Palmer. Palmer forward to San Luis, tracks it down into the corner. And a player down in the middle, and that's Robert Palmer. Is he shaken up on the field?
Looks like he caught a bump after he got the ball off his foot.
Foul called on the blast.
These 3 minutes are huge for the Comets. If we can hold off for 3 minutes, maybe get another goal, and go into the fourth quarter with this kind of lead, it's going to be a huge momentum builder for them. On the same note, though, if Baltimore gets a goal, then it's going to be that much closer, and then that much more fire is going to be lit in the fourth quarter.
Wow, Lucas went in there with 2 feet against Stephen DeRue.
And fouls like that don't help either.
And good sportsmanship there by DeRue to accept the apology of Lucas Rodriguez. He went in there with 2 feet. That could have been ugly. Under 3 to play. Adato Neto. He's won 3 championships with Baltimore. On back to Looking Land.
One of the hardest players in the MISL to defend.
He
just too crafty.
Yeah,
too crafty.
Very. Just deceiving. Now Perez to San Luis. Couldn't get a boot on that one. Hernandez comes up with it. Well, yeah, you know, he doesn't have like lightning quick moves or anything like that. He seems to step and know where to go when you're not there.
Exactly. And he bodies up any defender really well. Same idea as a basketball player playing in the post. Being able to post someone up in indoor is huge because you can spin them, you can lay it off for a pass, or lay it off for a shot, you can turn and shoot yourself. He's got so many different weapons that he can use that he brings to the blast that it's so hard to defend a team like that because you never know what he's going to do.
Here's Braithwaite. Oh, by a couple of players. Now San Luis. A touch in there by Perez. Diego Zuniga kicks it away, and then Harris launches it up into the suites.
Oh, and the fan caught it.
Nice
What
catch.
a snag.
Ryan Jung and Nick Vassos live at Independence Event Center. This is Game 1 of the MISL Championship Series. Game 2 set for Sunday, 4:05 Central Time in Baltimore at First Mariner Arena. CometsIndoorSoccer.com will have the Game 2 of the championship. Ball out loose. Whoa, the Comets dodged a bullet there with a $1:27 left to play in the third. Whew, that was close. Foul called on Baltimore.
Kind of going off what you said about this being the first game, it's huge if you can get the first win, because then your mindset, obviously you want to win the next game, but in reality, you just have a 15-minute game that you got to win. Comets did that the last series with Milwaukee. They won the first game. The second game was a battle. They got close. They fell short, but there's that 15-minute mini game that they dominated.
Here into the middle. Oh boy, a great ball by Gibson. And the Comets couldn't finish there. Oh, that would have been huge.
So I think just setting the pace for the rest of this series, it has to be set in Game 1. And going into Baltimore with a game in hand is not a bad thing by any means.
There's another shot. Oh, I think that was Robert Palmer there on the service from Leo Gibson, and a great save there made by Danny Waldman. A whistle and a foul called against the blast. Max Toulouse uses the spatula to scrape himself up off the carpet.
I've always wondered if Danny was a hockey player at one point. just the way he lays his legs down and stacks the pads for a hockey term. But he makes some unbelievable saves with his feet, his shins, everything. He had to have been a hockey goalie at one point.
He's playing with a tremendous amount of confidence.
Maybe he plays for the Mavericks in the offseason.
The Mavericks is our area hockey team that plays right here at Independence Event Center, and the Mavericks are really successful this year as well. Here's Gibson with some space. Leo! Oh, ding-dong off the crossbar. Oh, Margaret. Now Asadpour, a bid for another three-pointer. Horn sounds, and that's the end of the third. Wow. What a third quarter. What a game.
It's a lot of firepower.
Man, Missouri Comets 9, Baltimore Blast 4. You're watching the Major Indoor Soccer League Championships. All right, we're back for the fourth and final frame here in game one of the MISL Championship Series. Comets lead 9-4 as we go into the final 15 minutes. Comets will move it right to left wearing blue, trimmed in white and red. Nick Vassos, Ryan Jung with you live at Independence Event Center. Ryan's going to stick around here for a couple of minutes here in the fourth quarter. Nice enough to join us here at our broadcast position.
I always love coming back here. fans are amazing. It's always so hard to not talk to people. I come to watch the game, but on the same note, I come to just converse with everybody. Everybody's been so supportive of my decision to not come back, but on the same note, I get so many people saying, so are you coming back next year?
Of course they're going to say that. I think I even asked you last time I saw you.
I think I'm asking myself that.
14 minutes left to play here. Danny Waltman on up to Lucas Rodriguez. We've had a little bit of everything in this game. The Comets have scored 9 points on 3 goals. As you pointed out, Ryan, it's just crazy. And the Blast have been held scoreless since the first 5 minutes in the game. Here's Steven DeRue, marked by Rodriguez of the Comets. DeRue sends one in there. Danny arranges to his left, covers up and throws it long for Gibson. Leo trying to settle it quickly. Wapu heads it back to Troy Hernandez. Again, tonight the Blast starting Troy Hernandez in goal. Now, William Van Zella did not make the trip here to Independence, Missouri. Perhaps we can find out the reason why. Maybe it's a coach's decision. I'm not sure. I just don't know.
I thought I heard something about an elbow.
Okay.
His elbow was bothering him. I'm not sure if it was from the Syracuse game or if that's even the actual cause.
That's more information than I had before. Here's Asadpour, marked by Donatelli and DeRue. Perez is down there. Boy, all kinds of banging. That's really getting physical down there.
I think for some reason the fans of the MISL know a lot more about what's going on with teams than us as commentators.
Yeah, that's for sure.
They talk. They have their blogs. They have their websites and all that stuff, and they know a lot of stuff. And I mean, especially with Baltimore being such a storied franchise, they've been around forever and they have a huge following.
Here's Looking Land for 3, and he hits the cage. Oh my, that was close. Comets try to counter with Brian Harris, and it rolls back to Hernandez. What a chance there by Looking Land. Mangione down to the corner to Healy. Correction, make that DeRue. We've got a whistle and a foul. This is going to go against the Comets here. And they're going to spot the ball near the top of the arc. So the restart coming up here to the Blast here. Looks like they've got Healy behind the ball. JT Noon to the right. And I think that's Roque down there in the corner. So here's Healy. 3 men in the wall for the Comets. Down to the corner. And down on the log roll goes Robert Palmer with a block. How about that? Noon down to the corner. Broken up momentarily by the Comets. Robert Palmer. Couple of nice shifts here by Robert. Forward, back the other way, and it goes pinging out of bounds. And that goes off the Comets, and they'll give it to the Blast at the top of the arc. They'll have to do it again. As we look at Lucas Rodriguez, who was shaken up in the first half, looks like he's just fine.
11 minutes left. The mindset needs to be defense first, offense second for the Comets.
Comets lead by 5. It's a small lead in the indoor game. And looks like the Blast is going to call timeout. We'll keep it here as well, and we'll continue along with the postseason awards. We've told you earlier that O'Dane Sinclair of the St. Louis Ambush won Rookie of the Year. And then we told you Mike Looking Land of the Baltimore Blast won Defender of the Year. Goalkeeper of the Year went to William Van Zella. And so now I guess it's time to look at Most Valuable Player Award. And Ryan Jung, when you think about Most Valuable Player, you would have to consider the league's leading scorer, would you not?
He definitely, I mean, Leo is by far deserving. He's by far probably one of the most deserving players of the MVP for the entire year. In the past seasons, the MVPs have gone to guys that have been the leading scorer and points scorer for the season. I mean,
like
my
Byron
first year,
Alvarez?
Yeah, my first year was Byron Alvarez. My second year was here with the Comets, and that was Jason. And I don't know how all that stuff goes, how it goes down.
And you've got to consider that Ian Bennett of the Milwaukee Wave would have some consideration for
definitely.
MVP. So you've got Leo Gibson, Ian Bennett, and maybe Mike Lookingland of the Baltimore Blast. Well, the winner of this year's Most Valuable Player is Mike Lookingland of the Baltimore Blast over Leo Gibson and Ian Bennett of the Milwaukee Wave. I could make a strong argument against that selection.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, I'm sure, and I don't know what all that is. I think all three players.
Great save by Danny Waldman. But again, I'm a Missouri Comet broadcaster, so take that for what it's worth. I'm a little biased. Here's Neto. Now a drive by Lookingland, blocked by Harris. Boy, the Comets doing a good job packing it in here with 11.5 to play here and making it hard for the Blast to penetrate that wall.
Well, when you say MVP, it stands for Most Valuable Player.
Donatelli for 3 and that one wide.
And with all three of those guys, without them on the field, their team might not have had as many wins as they did. They might not have had as many stats as they did. So all three of those guys are deserving of this award. Like I said, I just don't know what goes into actually winning the award. Points. Obviously, Leo had the most points all year. One of the best defenders in the league, Mike Lookingland.
Diego Zuniga cracked one in there and deflected off Osadpour, and Danny made a pretty nice save. That ball would change directions as it approached him.
And then going off of what Ian Bennett's done all year, that guy he's never had a bad season. He's such an impact on the team, on the Wave. And he's a fan favorite up there, I know for a fact. And we've talked before, and the guy he's just a good guy all around. And he's had a great season too.
Here's
so all
Leo.
three of them are deserving.
Leo trying to get it into the middle to Max Toulouse, broken up by the Blast. Here comes Diego Zuniga. He's stripped of the ball. Toulouse comes out with it. Here's Max. Oh, goes forward to Leo. A shot off the post. Oh. Under 10 to play. Comets still lead by 5. Here's Danny. On over to Vahid. Now over to Palmer. Palmer boots it into the corner. Osadpour for 3! Shazam! Osadpour gives the Comets a 12-4 lead. How about Osadpour? It's a hat trick with 3 3-pointers. Oh my!
Is that a triple hat trick?
That's a triple.
Triple hat trick.
Oh, look at this one, Ryan. Great job there by Palmer to break it up. And then a good cracking shot by Osadpour, top shelf, where Grandma keeps the cookies.
Grandma's running out of cookies after this game. Unbelievable. What a strike.
Absolutely amazing. Here's a look at it from Troy Hernandez's view. Oh, man.
And I know a lot of fans are not a fan of the 2-point, 3-point system. They want single-point scoring. But with a game like this, how do you not get excited about these 3-point goals? It makes the game that much more fun and that much more enjoyable for fans that aren't necessarily a fan of soccer. They can actually come out, and this doesn't really feel like soccer.
It adds a really unique dimension to the game. Whether a lot of people over a lot of time since this game was created have had a discussion whether it's soccer or not. I don't buy that at all. We've got a blue penalty coming up here, and looks like it's Stefan San Luis going to be sent off here. But just to finish my argument here, it's still soccer. You're still kicking the ball and you're still trying to put it on goal.
The concept is soccer. The scoring might be a little different with basketball style, and the arena might be hockey. But the ultimate concept is soccer.
So the Comets, Stephen St. Louis sent off for 2 minutes for hands to the face. Comets a man down here, and on the power play go the Blast. Down to the corner, into the middle, oh, a drive, and now another chance off the post. Baltimore with 2 shots at it, and they can't hit the target. Wow. Ferdinand. Now one touched by Palmer. Ferdinand gives chase and will send it back to Troy Hernandez. 1 minute and 28 seconds on the advantage to Baltimore. Here they come again. Ferdinand sends it out wide to Looking Land. Mike takes a look down to the right to Neto. Neto, right wing, Looking Land. Down to the corner to Neto. Now Neto, skip pass over to Ferdinand. Ferdinand just outside the yellow line, passes it to Adato. Off the boards, and then coming over is Gibson to break it up. Now a turn and a shot, and just wide to the left again. That's 3 shots that have been very close to the target. 53 seconds on the advantage. Looking Land thought about 3, instead passes it to Neto. Neto through the area on the volley and out of bounds off the foot of Donatelli. And the Comets will have a goalkeeper distribution by Danny Waldman. 7:48 left to play, and Ryan, while we have you here for just a few minutes here, we'll wrap up the end of the season awards, and the last one to hand out here is Coach of the Year. And Coach of the Year, you basically just have to look at the standings. You can start with Danny Kelly from the Baltimore Blast. Number 2, Keith Tozer, who, by the way, has won the award 9 times. I don't know if he should be allowed or be eligible for it again. He's got more wins than, well, I don't know. You can't count that high. And then number 3 is Vlatko Andonovsky. And then the 4th one, Tommy Tanner of the Syracuse Silver Knights. So we'll just tell you that Coach of the Year goes to Danny Kelly of the Baltimore Blast. That's his 4th Coach of the Year award, as a defending champion used the second half surge to win the MISL regular season. Absolutely deserving. Has led his team once again to a great record. They play disciplined soccer. They really do. And you could give it to Vlatko for the 14 wins. You could give it to Tozer. He was 16-4. And for the Syracuse Silver Knights, a new franchise, you could give it to Tommy Tanner. They did a good job at making the playoffs. So congratulations to Danny Kelly of the Baltimore Blast. He is the MISL Coach of the Year.
He's by far deserving of the award. And Vlatko he's made a tremendous amount of impact on this team, I think, as a coach. He's been a huge influence to a lot of the players. But Danny, Coach Kelly does so much stuff for the Blast, and all those guys, they bend over backwards for him. They're very, very disciplined, like you were saying, and that just reflects in the coaching style. And hats off to Coach Kelly. And I believe he won the award last year, right?
Yeah. Comets foul, number 12, Robert Palmer is second.
Robert Palmer, the foul, is you see Roque went flying into the air and landed on his seat. That's got to hurt. So the Comets still a man down here for the next 23 seconds. Here's Ferdinand. The left side, it goes to Donatelli. Back to Ferdinand. Into the middle it goes to Roque. Comets converge on him. Over to Donatelli. Into the middle it goes. Kicked away by the Comets. Asadpour is there, and another foul is called on the Comets. Ryan Sigich, the senior referee, is not making any friends here tonight. Don't think he intended to, but everybody's chewing on him right now.
I think that's one you just let it go. It's a 50-50 ball. No intention to actually foul, just bodied up, and the guy was caught off guard and fell. But it was into the board, so it's going to be a foul call.
Yep. Here's Ferdinand. Ferdinand for 3. And he just blasted out the sign behind the goal. Comets will have it on the goalkeeper distribution as we approach 7 minutes to play in the game. Here's Rodriguez. turns into San Luis. San Luis tried to turn and fire. Still has it. His shot saved by Hernandez. Out to Noon. Noon to Neto. Neto with some fine footwork. Back to Healy and then over to Stephen DeRue. DeRue forward to Donatelli, but headed away by the Comets. Up to Gibson. Here's Leo. Leo avoids all the white jerseys he can and then plays it into open space to Rodriguez, who's running as fast as he can with DeRue into the corner. DeRue comes out with it. Over to Diesel. And the near side, it comes to Healy. Healy forward to JT Noon. Noon on up to Mangione. Sixth attacker's into the game now. Hernandez is off, and Mike Lookingland is in as the sixth attacker with 6 minutes left to play in the game, and we've got a timeout. We'll take a break. 5 minutes and 59 seconds left to play in the game. Missouri Comets 12, the Baltimore Blast 4. You're watching the Major Indoor Soccer League Championship. All right, sixth attacker is in there, Mike Lookingland. Comets have the ball, under 6 to play in the game. Comets lead 12-4. They have 12 points on 4 goals. All 4 are three-pointers. Let us know what you think about tonight's game. Sound off on Twitter by using the hashtag #BeatTheWave. Aaron Bennett sounds off on Twitter by saying, love listening to Ryan Jung and Nick Vassos on MISL Comets broadcast. Why, thank you very much, Aaron. We're glad to have you along. And glad to have you along as well, wherever you might be listening, around the U.S. or around the world on YouTube. 5.5 to play in the game. Waltman plays it long for Robert Palmer. Palmer tried to shield away the defender. Now Donatelli tries to dig it out of the corner. Whoa, it squirts up into the air and right into the arms of Lookingland. Lookingland, the defender, now 6th attacker, will press up. Across the half line it goes to Healy. Now near side for Lookingland. The Comets there's Neto who rolls one in, and Danny makes the save on the near post. 4 minutes and 45 seconds left to play. Asadpour on over to Leo, and the Comets are content with keeping that clock running. Here's Rodriguez. Nice pass by Lucas up to Leo. Then over to Asadpour. Vahid will play it back to Lucas. Comets just going to burn some clock here. It's winding down, coming up on 4 minutes to play in the game. Danny, long into the corner for San Luis. Marked by Donatelli, and here comes Healy for some help. Here is San Luis, still going, and Lookingland pounces on it for the Blast. Comets get back defensively. Everybody behind the half line. Under 4 to play. Here's looking land in the corner. This one goes to Roque. Comes off to Brian Harris of the Comets. Harris tried to launch one from 3. Now Palmer fires, save, another shot up and over the glass. Clock with each passing second becoming more and more the enemy of the blast. Comets lead by 8. 3:33 left to play. Game 2 of this MISL Championship Series, Sunday afternoon, 4:05 Central Time, from First Mariner Arena. Now Gibson for 3. That one will roll wide. Coming up on 3 minutes to play, and it's looking more and more like the Comets will hang on and win this first game here and be 1 game up going to Baltimore. Comets looking for their first championship since 1996-97. Here's Harris. Harris will let it roll in, and it goes in. I couldn't tell if that was a 2 or a 3 or who officially got that one, but it doesn't matter. The Comets have added to their score, and I think that's going to be 14-4 here. Brian Harris will look at it again here. There's Rodriguez. Will Brian put a touch on it? Yep, 1 touch there. Oh, and he just lets it roll, so that will be a 3-pointer. That's the Comets' 5th 3-pointer. 5 3-pointers on the night. Brian Harris. Amazing. Comets lead 15-4, and they're going to win this game 1 here against the Baltimore Blast. Unbelievable. 5 3-pointers. Ryan Jung, before he left our position, said the Comets are going to get another one. He called it. Ryan Jung called it. He's back up here in the booth. .12:34 of the 4th quarter, the official time of the goal. And we are 2 minutes and 19 seconds away from ending game 1, and the Comets securing victory here. Here's Stephen DeRue. DeRue just outside the area, leaves it back for Mangione. That one picked up by Gibson. Leo through to Perez. Oh my! Everybody flying, and we've got a whistle. And that's going to go against the Blast here.
Baltimore foul number 19, Marco Mangione is first.
Here's Ossenpour on over to Robert Palmer. And back to Danny Waltman, and he'll kick it long and right into the breadbasket of Troy Hernandez. Winding down the final 2 minutes here, live at Independence Event Center. The Comets are going to win this one. They're going to go up 1-0. Up 1-0 on the Baltimore Blast as they get a late tally here to make the score 15-6. Leo Gibson was shaken up, and I didn't see who got the tally there, but we'll check out the replay here. That looks, oh, it's JT Noon who got the goal there. That's JT's 2nd goal of he scored the game's 1st goal. And it would appear that he's going to score the Blast's last goal. 15-6 is our score with 1:36 left to play in the game. For JT Noon, that is his 2nd playoff goal this year. Some high pressure from the Blast. Got a handball called on Baltimore. Comets will have a kick. Will have a kick at the near the half line. Tonight's attendance 4,524. On behalf of the Missouri Comets, thank you for spending your night this Friday night here at Independence Event Center. And again, thank you for all of those of you who have joined us online here on YouTube. But another goal has been scored by Baltimore. It's now 15-8. As we've got a timeout on the field. Comets have called timeout with 1:09 left to play. It's 15-8 right now. We'll keep it right here. And Noon just tallied the hat trick.
At 13:51, timeout Comets. Fan cam up on Comets vision, everybody, come on.
JT Noon with 3 goals tonight. Blaine Riffle writes in on Twitter and he asked the question, 5 threes for the only scores has to be an MISL record. We're checking that one, Blaine. Thanks for watching the game and thanks for sounding off on Twitter using the hashtag #BeatTheBlast. We have 1:09 left to play in the game. A lot of fans here, 4,524 fans showed up here tonight at Independence Event Center. Good crowd. Beautiful day here in the Kansas City area. A lot of stuff going on here, including the Big 12 Championship, all kinds of outdoor activities. And Comets fans are showing their dedication to their team. We do appreciate it. All right, a minute to play here. Comets have let a couple of easy goals in here as they've let down just a little bit. Vlatko Andonovski called timeout. Say, boys, let's tighten it up here in the final minute. Here's Harris. Harris trying to go forward. Now Gibson. Ball ends up back to Hernandez, who's up and throwing. Hernandez throws it long to JT Noon. Now Danny will kick it long. One hop off the turf and out of bounds. The Blast will have it at the midfield stripe with 39.7 seconds left to play. And Patrick Healy is now wearing the 6th attacker jersey. 30 seconds to play in the game. Here's Noon down to the corner. Comets are tightening up their defense. 23 seconds left. Comets are going to win game 1 here. Independence Event Center. The score changed a little bit here in the final minutes, but not the outcome. Under 7 seconds to play. Looking Land will let the ball lie where it is, and game 1 is officially over. The Missouri Comets have defeated the Baltimore Blast in game 1 of the MISL Championship Series by the score of 15-8. Both teams will travel to Baltimore to play game 2 coming up on Sunday afternoon at 4:05 Central Time. Emotions ran high through most of the first half and into the third quarter. And eventually cooler heads prevailed. And so far no post-game altercations so far. We had a couple of ejections. John Sosa of the Comets and Adriano Dos Santos for the Baltimore Blast. The 3 3-point goals is an MISL record for Vahid Asadpour. Here's some of the highlights here in the game. This was early in the game when the Comets had a chance and Troy Hernandez made a great save. And a long 3-pointer, the first of 3 3-pointers for Vahid Asadpour. Stefan San Luis had a 3-pointer and Brian Harris had a 3-pointer. The 15 points the Comets scored tonight, all on 3-point goals. The Comets winners tonight, final score 15-8. And Vahid Asadpour, the star of the game, there you see him right there. The team captain scores 9 points in this Comets victory, and there was another one of the 3-pointers there by Stefan San Luis. The boys were fired up to take on the defending champions. Now the series turns to Baltimore And if the Comets can win either game 2 or the mini game, the Comets will have their MISL championship that they've been working for all season long. Great game today. Great effort by Vahid Asadpour and the rest of the team. And tremendous effort from all of our staff here at the Independence Event Center and also members of the front office of the Missouri Comets. My name is Nick Vasso saying thanks very much for watching and so long from Independence Event Center.